Roadies, coming to you from Sisters, Oregon. I am not going to be normally recording this early in the morning, but I decided I've kind of been splitting my day up, trying to give some structure to my day. So usually I am cross-stitching in the evening, but it's better to record because of the lighting during the morning. But I'm glad you're here. That's just jabber jabber. It is overcast today. I can see the bottom half of the mountains, but barely the top, and it might rain a little bit today, so I'll have to get out early for my walk. I have decided to kind of give a pattern to my day while we're quarantined, and so usually I get up in the morning and I read, and then I get dressed and I go up to my beehive, which is my sewing room, and do some quilting. And then in the late afternoon I come down and do some hand stitching, wool stitching or embroidery or applique, and then in the evening I am cross stitching. So my day kind of rotates that way. And I like it. I guess there's still very much a part of me that is a kid and needs structure. I have been having fun FaceTiming with my grandchildren. My older grandson and I got on FaceTime, and I brought up the internet on my laptop, and we went to Powell's bookstore, which is the largest bookstore in the Pacific Northwest, and probably, I'm thinking, the United States. So if you ever get to Portland, or Portland, Oregon, Powell's bookstore is like iconic to downtown Portland. The bookstore is so huge, and it carries used and new books. But it is so huge that the building, which takes up a city block, if you can imagine, and you know, there's 3 stories to it for the commercial part. Plus it has a cafe and a coffee shop. The rooms where books are located are done by color. So like the red room is all children's books. The pearl room is all rare or collector books, and they only let so many people into that room where those collector books are. And it's, you know, every time we go to Portland, we have to go there because we're bookies, and it's so wonderful to see all those books under, it's bigger than some libraries, you know. So I got onto the internet with my grandson up in Portland, my older one, and we shopped for some books for him to read. He's 9 years old, and it was really fun because I would take my phone and I'd bring the book up with the laptop, and then I'd make so he could see the camera. We were FaceTiming, and he could look at all the books, and then he could pick out which book he wanted. So I sent him 3 books. And both my grandchildren love nori, which is a seaweed in little packets. And so I sent each of them some selection of those through the mail, and it's been kind of fun to connect in that way. And with Easter coming and knowing that we will not be with them on Easter, I tried to find some Easter snacks and egg coloring kits and things like that. So it makes me feel very much connected to them, and they're both very sweet boys. Of course, they're my grandchildren. I have been spending a lot of time downloading the bee Be Well and Stitch charts that the designers have been giving out free, which you gotta love the community. It's so awesome. And the one that I'm working on, the one that I can't go on to any other cross stitch project, no Sal's, everything has taken a stop. I have nothing to show you on a whip parade because I have only been working on Be Calm. And I want that to hang in my kitchen area, right on my pantry door. So until I get this done, there's no way I can even concentrate on anything else. Do you get like that? Do you get like that where something just like... So we'll be doing a little stitch along chatting here in a few minutes while I stitch on that and we just talk. Oh, a little bit of sun came out over on the mountains. I know the deer in town must be wondering what's going on because there's no real activity outside. We're a shelter-in-place state, so that's what we're doing. But let me show you the ones so far that I printed out because I don't know when I'll get to them, but I love them. Be Calm, Stay Home, Be Well, Stitch On. So that Be Calm one that I'm working on is by Not Forgotten Farms. And this is Teresa Kogut's, which, you know, I just love her stuff. Gosh, I love that. And then Tiny Modernist, Be Home and Stitch, Stitch Home. Home, Stitch Home, I mean. That's a sweet one. I chose this one, Be Well. I think I might end up running out of printer ink, which could be an issue. Ink Circles, I chose that one too. And then I bought off of Etsy a couple of patterns that I thought I just really loved. And this first one was by Stone Street Stitchworks, and it's called Book House. I lived in books more than I lived anywhere else. Because truly, my younger son and I, that would be an absolute true statement. Oh, and here's another Be Well and Stitch. And this is by Beth Twist. So there's many others that I am going to print off. I just haven't, I worry about my printer ink. I thought there was another Etsy pattern that I bought. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it was only that one. Huh. I can't believe it. But besides those, I received my market purchases, Acorns and Threads. Janine is so awesome. I couldn't even remember what I bought. So she went through the list with me and I said, yeah, I want what I said. And then I decided on a whim, I said, can you please kit up one of them for me? Because I need things kitted up. Not that I will get everything done, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like, you know, kitting up is kind of like canning. You know, when you used to, or some, still can vegetables and fruits and stuff, and tuna, and I have friends who can tuna, you know, once a year they do. And having your larder filled with canned goods, that's the same thing as kitting. kidding cross stitch. It feels like canned goods, and there's a sense of peace and contentment in knowing that. So, yeah, so I told her, can you kit up one of those for me? And she did. So, and then I took pictures of them all and put them in my phone under my X-Stitch app so I could still keep track. So far, I have not been duplicate buying because I can look through what I have. And that X-Stitch app is just amazing. So just to show you, I have, the way I have my X-Stitch app, see, this is my list here. Not that you could see it, but where it says wish list, that's not a wish list. That's actually all the charts I have, and not the charts, not the PDF downloads. I have a binder full of those, but the actual charts that I bought, I have 45 of those, plus I have a binder filled with PDF downloads because I like those are immediate. But I have 17 projects that are kitted in one form or another. Now, not all of them are totally kitted, which is worrisome. Some have the thread, but not the fabric. And that is worrisome to me because I have been having some issue getting the fabric I want. Yes, it's, some places are out. And so, and then I think I have more than 9 started. So I'll have to update that. But in all, not including the PDF downloads, I have 72 things going on. So there, you know, I shouldn't have anxiety. Back when I was in my 40s, I had quite a significant anxiety issue. And so having worked very hard through meditation and self-talk, I no longer live with that anxiety disorder, but it's like this, it's like that thing in the middle of my brain. It's there, and I have to talk to it sometimes. So sometimes when I think, oh, I only have this many kitted, whoa, I have to say, come on now, you are okay. Talk to it like a child. But let me show you what I ended up with. Okay, first I'm going to tell you, this was not a market purchase. This was a Blitstitch enabling. So I was watching him one day, and he was working on this Quaker Christmas 2 Songs of the Season. It's a good thing I saw his, because if I had seen this pattern, I would have never bought it. Some of the photography, I mean, this doesn't even look like the colors. It's just so washed out. But because I know what it really looks like, I'm excited about it. The only problem I'm having is that it takes 23, I think, 23 current, Gentle Art Sampler Current is the color, red currant, 23 of those. And I thought it would be better to get a hank because you want it kind of all the same dye lot. I'm not sure that makes a huge difference on this particular project, but I did receive comments when I first talked about this project, or I also asked Kindred Stitches kindred spirit, I almost said, because she is like a kindred spirit to me. But Kindred Stitches, she had a project that she had a whole hank of red that just was to die for. And so I asked her where she got it, and she gave me information, and others that I asked gave me information of 2 different places, Silks for You, or there's a gal in Spain. Well, let me tell you, there's nothing being shipped from those 2 Etsy shops. They've closed down. I mean, Spain is totally in chaos right now. So, but it's not like I have it need it this moment. But someday I'm going to own a hank of red. And I do like the current, but this is going to be a BID project before I die. Yeah, that's going to be a BID project. So now on to Market. What can I say? It's the shoes. I totally bought this chart just because of the shoes. Now you would think I would buy it because I'm a needle worker and it has all the different things that one needs, thread, scissors, everything in it. But no, it is those dang shoes. They got me. Those are the shoes that have the buttons that they used to have, the little button hook thing. Yeah, Lindy Stitches, Merry Mary Needleworker. Definitely going to be doing that one. This is my very first chart that I contacted Janine at Acorns and Threads about. I loved it. There was, I think it's because I like those botanical print books in the library. They're just so beautiful, and this reminded me of it so much. The Visitor by Blackberry Rabbit. Hands-on design, well-rounded. Isn't that? That will keep me busy. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those pinwheels, but you know, when you needed something quick and satisfying, you know, like a brownie, this would be the chart. And then after I watched Stitching with the Sisterlies, oh, you have to go watch that episode. They're a hoot and a half. They're like the sister you always wanted, you know, that you just have, I can't explain it. You just have to watch it. But they did a split screen interview with Teresa Kogut, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I loved, well, there's so many. I pretty much liked everything out of Market that Teresa did, but and they are on my list, but the one that I had to have in my possession is Heaven and Nature. And it's a sampler, and absolutely gorgeous. And do you know, out of the whole thing in this entire sampler, the thing that sold me on it, the raccoon. The raccoon right here. I don't know. As soon as I saw it on hers, I said, I need that raccoon. And so I just loved it. And the good thing about this particular sampler, although I'm going to be doing it as in its entirety, is that this can be done in 3 separate projects. You can make drums out of them, you know, but I know that Cheryl and Colleen, Stitching with Sisterlies, they're going to be doing this one probably sooner than later. And then finally, the last one. Yeah, I was good. Was the one that Jenny at Acorns and Threads kitted up for me. And it could be the sign of the times. It's just that I needed some love. And it's Brenda Gervais, Our Hearts. Yeah, your heart and my heart are very old friends. Yeah, that's a gorgeous little sampler. And so she sent me the fabric and the threads. And she gave me really good advice too, because, God, those threads are gorgeous. They're all gentle arts. It called for 36 count, and it called for 36 count vintage country mocha linen by Zweigart, and she didn't have it, but I trust her totally. And I said, pick me out something. I trust your judgment. Just pick me out. And I said, do you think I should stick with the 36 count? And she said, what's your favorite count? And I said, 32. And she said, during this time, stitch what feels good to you. And that was such great advice. So she sent me 36 count R&R Abecedarian. So that's what I'm going to be stitching that on. So I have something kitted already. But I can't even begin to do anything right now until I finish my Be Calm, because I need that hanging in my house. Yeah. So I've been trying to keep myself calm and stitching in my various loves, and it seems like we all have all those different things that we love to do. And but I can't even think about my sals or my whips until I get this Be Calm down from Not Forgotten Farms. And I think I'll be able to finish that this week. I did not have all of the called for threads, and I am doing this on a little chunk of scrap that I found in my little basket here, and it is on 32 count, my favorite count, Lugana Platinum. Yeah. Oh, it's the same one that I did the boobies on. Oh, I need my light. So, yeah, once I get this done, I'm going to be able to get my whips back out. My girlfriend Becky in Mesa, Arizona, she told me, you might want to check it out, that The Addict is doing a YouTube channel because they're closed, and so they're doing like a project parade, like showing you different things in the shop that you can mail order. I thought that was really cool. So you can virtually shop, basically. Because it's sometimes hard, isn't it? Sometimes hard. You just want to be in the building. And mail order cross stitch is a little easier than mail order quilting, because in quilting there's so much about the color value on photography and you know, the texture, and so that's That's the challenge with quilting, is that you really do want to feel the fabric. Yeah, so I didn't have all of the called for threads for this particular project, so I had to kind of substitute or get something close enough. I do have an order from 123 Stitch, thanks to several of you that told me about the little house. I wanted to get that little Western Pioneer one, so I found it, but again, they did not have the fabric. Interesting how that is. I wonder if the production of the fabric has all slowed down. Makes you a little bit scared. I'm scared. Where am I going to get my linen? I did tell you at one point that I was going to share with you some of my favorite Instagram sites that I follow, and then I only did one, my friend Karen, but I thought I would start that back up and try to keep it consistent. I'm going to try to keep notes. I found the book. I haven't unpacked all the boxes that I mailed to myself from Arizona because I didn't have room in the van, because we had intended to stay longer, and we didn't. We had to bring a lot of stuff back that would have, food items that we would have already finished, and so I just couldn't fit everything. So G made the suggestion of mailing the non-essential stuff to myself. So I did that, and I haven't totally unpacked those boxes that are sitting out in the garage. But when I do, I'll be a little more organized. But I was happy to have found my notebook that I use to keep track of questions and thoughts that I have that I want to share on the next video. But back to Instagram. So my Instagram shout out today is my friend Sandy Henschel. And she is, you can find her on Instagram spelled like this, SHH Designs 1. And she is a multi-crafter. So she does quilting, she does wool applique, hand applique, cross stitch. She's a beautiful photographer and lives up in Canada, and so I love to see her photography pictures because she's a great photographer. So you might check out her Instagram site. You'll enjoy it. She's quite productive, and that's kind of why I like to follow people that are going to inspire me, don't you? Yeah. And then I'm trying to catch up on Flosstube, and I can't even remember all that I've watched this week. I know I always 2 Martini Stitchers at the top of my list, along with SamBrie Stitches, and then Kindred Stitches. I noticed that some people aren't doing their floss tube as much. I think people are just somewhat stressed, and so you have to give yourself a break in some way. You know, sometimes you're just emotionally tired, and the way we have to navigate the world now, I mean, my doctor told me I should not go out to the store without a mask on. So there you go. Given that I have asthma, although with the lifestyle change we did a couple years ago, my asthma has been very well controlled without medication, but she has me back on it. My friends are all making masks for our local hospital. We ran out of elastic locally, plus all the, because we're a shelter in place, the stores are closed. So that's another thing. But my daughter-in-law asked me to make some surgical hats, so I'm going to be doing that upstairs. I think I probably have some fun fabric for that. We have never been eating so well as we are now because one, we don't want to waste any food, and we're cooking from scratch. You know, that's just the way it is, and G is such a good cook. And my house has never been so clean. It is very clean. So have any of you bought the same charts that I bought, or did you buy something totally different? I can't wait to go on that, watch the Addict YouTube. There might be something that I need. I'm using a petite needle, and for my fat stubby fingers it's a little bit of a challenge, but there's some real benefit to it also. And this is all, I'm using all DMC on this particular project. We watched Father Brown last night. I surely love those British shows. I had subscribed to BritBox, and so we've been enjoying that. And you know how we've been relying on technology. You know, we text, you know. I'm finding that's not quite as satisfying anymore. In the way we're having to live our lives right now, I'm finding that my well is filled better if I hear the voice of whoever I'm talking to. Yeah. But thank God for FaceTime. like this Lugana. What is your favorite fabric? Now, even weave. That sounds like it. I'm not sure I've ever actually used even weave, but this Lugana is kind of fun. 32 count, yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed reading all the comments about how everyone stitches, whether they stitch in hand or they use a hoop or a Q-snap. Thank goodness we have so many different choices that work. And several people talked about, you know, their limitations as far as fused thumb or wrist or all of that stuff. And boy, thank goodness there's different products. And I know that my stitching pillow, of which the tutorial is on Quilt Roadies, if you Google Quilt Roadies stitching pillow, it'll come up. This thing is a lifesaver to me because I just rest my hands on it, so I don't get tired. I don't get tired. I can just keep on stitching, keep on stitching. Yeah, I think this afternoon I might try to catch up on some more Flosstubes. You feel like you're not alone when you get to watch someone and they're talking away, and I said, oh, you know, that 2 Martini Stitches, when she was doing her March Madness choice, I kind of went, oh my gosh, I want that, I want that, I want that. Oh yeah. It is so fun to see what everyone's doing. Yeah, they tell you not to touch your face. That's really hard. But when you're quarantined inside, you can touch it all you want. It's when you go outside that you can't touch it unless you can wash your hands. I had to actually send some Clorox wipes to my one son and daughter-in-law because there's none to be had. I have not, well, I haven't been really going out, but the last 2 times that I went out, I've not found toilet paper. You know, it's like you have to hit it you have to hit the delivery time at just the right time. But I'm not going to worry about it. I have a whole pile of, you know how you do these, you get down to like just a little bit left on the roll, and our habit is, I don't know, we want that full roll on the thing, and so we'll throw that little part. Oh, I know why this happens. It's because you have this roll that has just a little bit left on it, you know, and you have guests coming over, and so you're cleaning your bathroom and restocking it for the guests, and you don't want them to run out, so you put a fresh roll up and you throw that roll into a drawer. And so I went in the guest bathroom and I was kind of looking at what was there, and I opened a drawer and there's like about 10 or more of these little rolls. I thought, jackpot! Jackpot. Yeah, that's gonna be that's our emergency toilet roll. Well, I sure have enjoyed this time with you, and thank you for stopping by. Stay safe and healthy, and stitch on.